All right, so Taj Francis is a talented illustrator. And what happens when talent meets Marvel? Magic. So he's put together an illustration for the recently released Marvel movie Wakanda Forever. Whew. Big things, Virgin.
Yeah, yeah.
And not the first time you do something big, but this is huge. But this was post-production. This wasn't pre.
Yeah, so...
Well, let's start. Yeah. Let's start with why you're an illustrator. And in the first place, where did this come from?
It started pretty early on. It's almost a field that I didn't go into, but I had an uncle who kind of encouraged me to go in that direction. I almost did architecture, which, I mean, would have been fine, but, he kind of encouraged, like, no, this is really, like, this is what you should be doing for real, so. And of course, having family to kind of help push that.
Well, where the talent come from? Because we have people who may know the things and me can't do it right. So where the talent itself came from?
I guess it's something I kind of just honed, because it was something I always did. I would, from as a child, I'd be drawing, but it just kind of developed and grew, because, just hard work and focus, really. Yeah.
Animation, illustration, two different things we're talking about?
Yeah, because animation is more specifically about like moving, like, artwork moving. So like think about it like, the artwork actually moving. Yeah. So animation.
You were here recently enough during the pandemic.
I was here recently.
So, how did they find you? Somebody just tell them, say, you have a little Jamaican man, we're good, or how they find you?
Yeah. Basically,
that's it. But they would have seen your work, obviously.
So there have been people who've been familiar with my work. I've done, different artwork for different productions. So, I guess they were familiar with some of the work that I've already done, and they know of the work that I do with, some of these companies. So they reached out and they're like, Marvel is interested in doing some work with you, and having these like post-production artworks.
Not certain you could say everything because you're probably under contract and stuff. So
you
have to be careful what you say. But when you got that news that Marvel know your work and want you to do something, you never pass out.
I think it's one of those things where when you see it, you kind of like, wait, is this real? Like, it's like, wait, is this? Because sometimes you have to double check. It's like, wait,
so you almost pass out.
Yeah, it's like, is this like a fake? Am I being like tricked?
I try to prank you. But when you found out that it was real, were you asked to do something specific? Or them just say, I want to see your work because I want to work with you? Ray.
No, they kind of trusted me, with what I would do. I gave them about 2 options, 2 or 3 options for them to choose from, direction-wise. And but they kind of just let me, do what I do.
And then having done it and sent it through, accepted, and how much hits you get and stuff like that make you pass out.
Yeah, because I think seeing Marvel share the artwork with their audience, through their socials and such, it was like a million something hits. I don't think I've ever seen anything like that.
Huh?
So it was really shocking.
What does this do for you?
I think it's more than just for me. I think what it does for, all like Jamaican creators and artists is kind of just shed a spotlight on that, like lots of people like to associate Jamaica with music and sports, but, I think we're so much more in like every avenue, as you see, as all the guests who come on here, you see that, we do so much more here than just,
Yeah, I like your humility, but it should push you much further than you are now.
Yeah, it definitely will, and I appreciate, them reaching out.
What else can you do? I mean, what more can you do? Because this, I don't want to say this is the pinnacle, but this is huge. So how much bigger you can get from this?
The thing is, it's like, I don't know, maybe the next thing is that I make the new thing that's the next Black Panther, or the new thing that's the next, whatever major thing, because, there's always more to do and there's always more that can be done.
You said they weren't specific, they trusted you. So what did you do?
Okay, so what I did was kind of just looking at so this is the funny thing, I didn't get a lot of lead time or like a lot of
they just wanted you to.
Yeah, so they wanted to create something. So I kind of had to just use what was their trailers and such to, put something together. And I was almost doubtful of what I did because of how fast everything was turning over. But like seeing the reaction from everyone, of me doing the image of the Black Panther with the antagonist, side by side in that.
Which is something like what we're looking at.
Exactly.
Which is not something like. Which is what.
That's
what you did. Whew. You said that it highlights Jamaica. You said it highlights Jamaican creatives.
Yeah.
How many like you are here in Jamaica? When I say like you, I mean, you know, that could do stuff like what you do.
There's so many. Like, I think that the thing that I've, over the past couple of years, realized is like how much talent and how much hardworking and how much, you know, professional even, like, artists are here and coming up, like, way more than I even saw when I was young, you know. Like, I feel like now is the time, and I think that people should be really looking to Jamaican youth and artists in general.
Because of our size, because of who we are, you can make it doing what you do in Jamaica. I mean, when I say make it, I mean, things are relative, you know. I mean, you can make it in Jamaica, but make it in Jamaica probably wouldn't be as big anywhere else. But can you make it here?
Yeah, I definitely think so. I think especially now because the world is so much more available to the rest of us. So, you know, you can live from you know, the access that you have to the world, especially with the internet, especially with travel. There's so much that's, you know, gained to access. Just like musicians can go on tour and such, you know, artists can, you know, do something similar.
As far as you know with Marvel, is this just a one-off thing, or are you a part of the Marvel group type?
So far, legally, I have to say, so far, this is a one-off thing. But, you know, who knows? Like,
what's the hope for you, though?
The hope for me is that, yeah, we do more, like, more things in the future. Yeah, I think that looking forward, having more opportunities like this come about would be
You've already said it was a quick turnaround time, but how tough was that for you, and how long did it take you to come up with this concept?
No, coming up with the concept, so between coming up with it, sending it, and getting feedback and finishing it, I would say that was probably like a week and a half at most.
But normally you would need much more time now.
Normally I would. I mean, normally I would, but you know, you just have to work with.
Was that a concern? That, boy, you know, give me enough time. I mean, obviously you're not going to tell them, say, no, I'm not doing it. But was that a concern that maybe I could have done a little bit more, a little better if I had more time?
I mean, I think that will always be a concern. You'll always kind of feel like, you know, you could use some more
Ideally, how much time would you have wanted?
Ideally, how many? Probably at least 2 to 3 weeks, probably. You know, normally to just work on something, you know, without any hindrance.
And I suspect that was the only thing you could have done in that short space of time.
Yeah.
So anything else?
Anything else? Yeah.
Just kind of put out that this is Marvel, folks.
Yeah.
Virgin, I'm so impressed.
Thank you so much.
I'm so absolutely impressed with what you've done, what you continue to do. And I suspect this is just the beginning for you.
Yeah, I hope so, for sure.
Man, deal with it, man. Blessings, my brother.
Thanks, Nalo.
Illustrator Taj Francis. Where can you be found by that?
I can be found on all socials at Taj Francis, and my website is taj10fold.com.
Taj10fold.com. And that's Taj's TAJ.
Yeah.
All right, soon come. Stay with us. Freeze frame, kids. We soon come.